Hey guys, it's Rich here.
And Mark.
And it's Newbie Prepping. We're here for our fourth overnighter, official overnighter as Newbie Prepping. We've come to my area here with the old shelter that I built. As you can see, we've got some food behind us there. Don't worry, we're not going to leave any trace behind.
Leave no trace.
Oh yes. So yeah, we're just going to basically just survive the night. We got, is it still remnants of Storm Dennis?
Yeah, a little bit, because it was really blowy last night.
Oh yeah, it's very blowy today as well, so you might be able to see up there. The trees are having a whale of a time dancing there for us. But yeah, we're going to see what we can do, what sort of videos we can shoot. It might be a cold one, but we're prepared for it. It's in the name, you know. Right. Hopefully we don't end up walking back to the car and
no, we won't.
Going back home.
No, we won't. We'll be doing an overnighter.
Yes, damn right we will. Right, we'll see you in a bit.
Yep, it's in a bit.
Okay, so there's something that was brought up on a Bushcraft forum that I'm part of. And it's interesting that you said this earlier. It's about the whole leave no trace catchphrase. Right, so the controversy behind it is entering a forest and like chopping down trees and creating shelters, is that leaving no trace? Like this particular forum is for bushcrafters and for wild campers, and it seemed like it was very split between the wild campers who literally just go there with their tents, like pitch up tents and then spend the night and then leave. And then it was them against the bushcrafters who think that it's perfectly fine doing what they're doing as long as you're not leaving rubbish around. So I wanted to see your thoughts on this. By the way, this was a question that I'm asking on the fly, so I don't actually know what Mark thinks.
Well, if it's just campers who do like go out hiking and just doing stuff, is a different type of person to who does bushcraft. Even though some areas do overlap, just like with prepping. Prepping will be on one scale, then it'd be bushcraft, then it'd be people who just go out camping overnight and stuff, like the hikers and stuff. Basically, as you progress further in, I reckon, you're like doing bushcraft, you know generally what type of tree you're going to be cutting up, and it's not going to be a healthy tree like this right behind us. We wouldn't attempt it, we wouldn't do it. We might clear some of the twigs away, what's along the edge. So as you can see here, there's no little small branches, but up here there are small branches. Now the only reason we would clear those ones away is because at night, if you're moving around, it's going to take your eye out if you're not careful, or you can get stabbed if you're leaning back, or you little trip. So you're trying to make the area quite safe. Now, is that damaging the tree? If you're doing it correctly, no, because these are already dead twigs. So if you look at this one more closely, it's broken away and you can just snap it off with your finger, so that's dead. So you're not doing the tree any damage, you're actually probably helping it, because no more nourishment is going to a dead twig to try and repair it. So if we was going to cut up a tree, it'd be a fallen tree. So there's plenty around which is wind damaged, as you can see. Now these would just rot away naturally. So generally the bushcraft people would see these trees, and the ones what's partly fallen over, like, so they're just caught on a neighbouring tree, well, it actually puts more pressure on that neighbouring tree, because now you got like it's not just supporting its own weight, it's supporting another tree's weight. So we would remove those trees and cut them up. So it's still leaving no trace, because we're only clearing away what's naturally fallen. So it's one of those arguments, all depends how serious you are and what scale you are. So if you're more of a prepper, you would clear these away and use them. Bushcraft would do the exact same thing, because they can use them trees, and just like the hikers, they're just there to go in. If they make a campfire, they're leaving a trace. just like all bushcraft people, you're still leaving the trace because there's evidence of where a campfire was. So we try our best to leave a minimal amount of trace footprint of where we've been. So I know I went into a bit of depth into that, but it's
always best going into depth. In my opinion, yeah, pretty much exactly what Mark said. Leave no trace. Obviously the phrase implies like absolutely no trace whatsoever, but I think of it more as like rubbish and stuff like that.
What you take in, you take out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe we should even adopt a different phrase, because that phrase is a little too ambiguous and too ripe for arguments. So maybe we should adopt a different phrase altogether, just to stop that sort of thing. But yeah, I thought it was quite interesting to bring it up, since that's what we're pretty much doing at the moment. But yeah, anyway, on to the next thing. Okay, so I've had to just take that tree down there, because the top half of it was resting on the tree that my shelter is currently part of. So I decided to take it down just here, using a combination of the axe and the saw, just to make sure it doesn't fall on us during the night. And we've got Mark over here putting up his basher here.
Oh, the basher's there.
The basher's there, and the hammock's here. Trying to figure out the best place to put it. I have set up my area. That's a bit weird. Decent bag rolling around anywhere. So here's my sleeping section for tonight. As you can see, sleeping under my shelter. Got my sleeping bag there. Bivvy bag is in the bag there. We just had a bit of an episode where I thought that I had lost it, but we were searching all around, both me and Mark, searching far and wide. We thought it ran down the hill here. We were looking all down that hill, but no. Mark thought it was one of his own pieces of equipment, so he put it into his bag.
Hi.
Cheers, Mark. And we're just clearing away now for a fire here. Just got to get some firewood sorted out. Headlamps on, eh? Using this downed piece of wood, this downed log that I took down earlier. We're just going to make some firewood here. I wonder if there's some small spindly bits here that we can use as kindling or tinder, whatever it's called. Right, I'm going to stop holding the camera and start helping.
So when you're splitting wood, if you've not got much experience, the safest way of doing it is put your axe on top of the bit of like the branch what you're going to split. Now some people who've got experience would do it this way, but if someone has a newbie prepper, I would suggest not doing that. Get on the bit of wood, put your axe on top and bang down on the top of the axe. Now,
Can take a few goes by the seams of it.
yeah. Obviously it's quite hard, it's nice dry wood. And then once you've got the actual blade is in there, you can just tap it down. I'm trying to do this the simplest way for you. It's not the way I would do it myself at the moment, but you see it just splits it nice and easy, and it's the safest way. It's the safest way of doing it if you've not got experience. So obviously I want to teach you the safest way first. As you become more accustomed to doing it, you learn a little bit more secrets and the tricks of the trade of doing it. So now the options what you got, you can just keep it like that, or you can split it again just to make it so it takes easier. So put it on, blade just on top. So that's in there now. So once you've done the first bit, you just bang the axe down and it splits. So this is the other way of doing it. Once you've got a bit more experience, keeping your hand there, but you've got to have a lot more control. And all you're making is kindling to get the fire going. So I'm going to pass the axe over to Rich, and now Rich has seen the 3 ways of doing it, as you saw there. You can do it blade, just the wood, blade, wood, slightly in and chop the rest, or use your hand instead of the wood to hold the actual bit of wood what you're cutting up in place. Right, and that's that bit done. When you've got the big log like that, probably easier just doing this way.
It's a bit wet there, I guess.
Yeah, a bit rotten.
Bit rotten.
Right, so I'll leave that to you now. So you can practice. You've got some already split there. Keep that one as your basher, and there's your axe.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Thank you. Oh, this is a thick. Oh my god, this is really thick. Right, let's try it again with my right hand. Oh, see there. Oh, this one's hardly going in at all. Getting there very slowly. Whew. So in there a little bit. Whew. Got through it. Seemed like I wasn't going to get through it at all, but holy crap, got through there in the end. How many people were already writing in the comments saying that I'm not strong enough to get through this one little bit of wood?
Right, so something what my dad taught me many years ago. Normally when you cut up logs, you normally cut them straight. And you saw as Rich was cutting into the wood with the axe, it kept on falling over and it was a bit of a struggle. So my dad said to me, cut an angle, so you can see there, into the wood. As you saw it in. So you do one that way, then straight, angle, straight, and you're going to have logs like that with a slight angle to one side. What this means when you're chopping into them is, if that bit was straight, so you've got a bit of a ridge for your axe to go in. Yeah. So it's already in there. So now you can either bash it in with the other bit of wood, or you can just carry on bashing it in. It just makes it easier to split, or getting your blade in to split it. And there you go. So I'm going to get this back over to Rich so you can have a practice, and then you will see Rich do it a whole lot easier, because there's that little, even though I've cut into it, you can just cut into it easier. Right, so I'll take the camera.
Oh, yes. Oh wow. That is a heck of a lot easier.
There you go. There you go.
Beautiful.
And made it a lot quicker for you.
Fantastic, yes. A lot quicker, a lot easier. Beautiful.
So a little tip, I normally keep my dad's secrets and my nan's secrets about doing stuff around. But I thought I'd share that one because I saw it did take a bit of time.
Yeah, yeah. Very good indeed, very good. Well, thank you very much for that, Mark.
No problem.
Thank you.
Obviously this is the falling tree. What was rotting away, falling down. So as you can see, you've got the angle there. So now what I'll do is I'll just cut a straight line, cut it straight as I can, so it will stand up when it's on the actual branch over there. The actual, not branch, the actual
The stump.
That's it.
Very nice. So I've got a knife here, which I haven't actually used before. It's going to be my first time using it. I did show it off briefly in one of my bug out bag videos. But yeah, basically we're just going to see how it fares. It's a more fancy looking one, and I find that the more fancy looking ones like don't really cut it as well as the uglier ones. But we'll see how it goes. And of course it's got the ever important bottle opener on the top there, because why wouldn't you ever need one of those? Yeah, I'll put the name and the make of the knife up just here, in case you're interested. Right, let's do some feathering. We'll say about this knife, it's not very comfortable to glide along the wood with, simply because this here is just a little too thin, and like when you're putting your thumb on there, it just really carves into your thumb, and it just feels like if you hold it here on the handle, then it's just a little too far away. But it is a lot more comfortable. So we said in previous videos, I think in over a night or two, all the way back then, we spoke about how Mark would build his fire, and how it's different from like normal. Well, I say normal. Different from most bushcrafters. This is how we're going to do it, using a cotton wool method here. And yeah, just looks like your standard TP, really.
Yeah. Sticks in there.
A lot more streamlined than the fires I've made in the past on this channel.
Now hopefully that'll just take hold. I'll let it just get them bits first, then I had some slightly bigger bits, and then just put the whole logs on. Then might take a little bit longer, but for a newbie, this is the way I reckon a TP method won't go wrong for a newbie.
We've just had our food, and we're just going to clamber on into bed now, okay? So we shall see you in the morning. Alright, so it's morning now. I've clambered out of my bivvy sack a little bit here. I will say the bivvy sack did a really good job with keeping me dry, even though it was a really wet night last night. One thing about this shelter definitely should put more layers onto it, just to make sure that the rain doesn't come through, because it definitely can drip through here. That's one thing to remember, I guess, is more moss needed. Just because it appears to be covered doesn't mean that it's covered enough. But yeah, it's not too bad. At least I didn't get absolutely soaked or anything like that. Right, just turn the camera around here. Alright, so there's Mark in his hammock over there.
Hello.
How was it, man? Are you dry?
It was dry. The drip cords worked really well.
Yeah?
You can... Oh, I'm going to pan the phone round. You can see, hopefully, which will be able to zoom in on this point, the drip cords are actually moist, and there's a little drip coming off of one.
Fantastic.
So, they worked really well.
Yeah, oh well, I'm glad about that.
Frost up on
You can see here.
the mountains.
It's got my stuff covered, my boots
So
and
I'll take a
everything there.
picture as I go down to the edge of the forest, so you can see. And then it's a matter of getting a campfire going and having some breakfast. Oh, we've got some people walking dogs nearby. Right, I'm going to sign off here and start getting the fire ready.
Yep, what Mark said. We're going to get the fire ready again and have some food. We turned off early last night because it was just simply too dark to really film anything, so yeah, I'm going to do some filming now instead. Oh, alright there. Yeah, a couple of things I wanted to say about the bivvy. Last night it was an absolute nightmare because I was crawled in there and I was trying to put it on, and there's not much space in there. Like, when your head is up at the small part, like there's not much space then. You pretty much have to stand up and cocoon yourself, which is quite funny. Here, I'll just try and do it here again. I haven't got the thing zipped up, but it's still fine. But yeah, it is quite awkward, because I wasn't expecting the bivvy to be quite so tight, but then again, I guess you got to kind of expect it. So
Right
yeah.
there.
And you just get the rest of it whenever you're inside. But yeah, so bivvy camping. It's I mean, I was really warm because like I've got 4-season sleeping bag, and this was just the outer shell to keep it waterproof, and it did work. I am dry, so it works. It's just like you are very much cocooned. When you breathe in, the heat kind of circulates around. It didn't get like any condensation, which is good. Yeah, it was just like a real good night, really. But yeah, I am very much wanting to put all of this stuff away now. Okay, so just want to talk a little bit more now that I'm actually out and just packing my stuff away here. Just want to talk a little bit more about the shelter, since it was quite a big thing for me. I will say that I wasn't left absolutely soaked. I wasn't waterlogged, but I guess that's more thanks to the equipment that I had rather than the shelter itself. Like I said, I really need some more coverage over top. I thought that there was enough, but there clearly isn't. This shelter, it's important to know that I didn't want to build it with a tarp because I wanted it to be as Spartan as possible, like you're really trying to survive. But if I wanted to do it that way, then I could have put a tarp underneath there. But yeah, so I know that there will be people, I know that there will be friends of mine saying, oh, it wasn't a very good shelter if it didn't keep you perfectly dry. Well, it kept me mostly dry, so I mean, it's fair enough. There was a bit of pooling water down at the bottom here, but that's just because there's a tree root right here, and it's literally just a little dip there, and the dip has only been made bigger by me sitting in it. What it did do was effectively block the wind as well, so I wasn't like freezing cold from the wind. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any of the wind last night, in fact. So it did its job in that regard. For the next shelter that I build, wherever and whenever that may be, definitely going to look for flatter ground, and I'm just going to do a bunch of things differently. I'll explain it all in the video or whenever we're doing it. But yeah, just I'm still quite happy with this shelter, but I'm ready to move on to my next one and learn from any mistakes that I made, and just go from there essentially. Nicely established fire here.
Going properly.
Yeah. Just relaxed. Oh, it's keeping my feet nice and toasty. We did keep the majority of the wood underneath the basher. Oh, the basher's down, but kept it underneath the basher. But yeah, most of the wood here is wet. But we did manage to get the fire lit, and we're just cooking the wood on there now, and should catch fire nicely after it's dried off from the heat. Is there anything more satisfying than seeing a nice raging fire going and cooking food?
Sausages, we've got chicken, some rice if you want some rice.
Can't wait. Coffee. Fog. Campfire sausages. Very nice. Smoke going in your eyes. Not very nice. When you've got to clean your mess tin here, just get yourself a pine cone. No, it's not a pine cone, is it? What is it? Get yourself one of these things. It's not a pine cone. Can't remember the name of it. And just give your thing here. Good old scrub. And it acts like a Brillo pad or a scourer. Just for a preliminary clean before you get home. Or if you're in a bug out situation, that's probably the best sort of clean that you would get until you go down to a river and clean it. Just to get all the main bits of crap off of there. And then obviously if you've got some tissue, just give it a wipe over. That's a lot better than what it was looking like before, I tell you. Some bushcraft hacked for you. Okay, well, once again we've got to make a quick exit.
Yeah.
It was a good night overall. Had a nice bit of food today as well. Bivvy camping for me went pretty well. Hammock camping for you?
As always.
Went real well.
Well, we should be doing another camp in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
At a different location. Reason why we got to shoot off now and why we didn't do a bit more videoing is because our partners are demanding us to come home.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get a bit more video, we'll do a bit more bushcrafting and stuff, and
Yeah.
who knows, it may even start on more shelters and stuff.
Yeah.
That should be good.
It will be.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see you again.
See you soon.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.